5,000 square feet. I know some of this can get pretty confusing to you all. I also know what the reality is. Majority of you, you're gonna look at the spreader setting, you're gonna dump it in, and you're just gonna go and hope for the best. I already know, I'm not telling you to do that. This is why I do take the time. I think I'm the only YouTuber that does take the time to dig into these labels and help you understand them. But I already know most of you, you're just dump. I don't recommend that, but that's just the reality of it. Here's the thing. 2 pounds per thousand for each of these. This will be for Zoysia and St. Augustine, 2 pounds per thousand, preventative rate. That's what we're doing. Let's throw her down and hope for the best. All right, now you're gonna ask about the spreader settings. Well, Scott's only gives you spreader settings for Scott spreaders, which I can understand that. So I'm gonna figure it out for you. I'm just gonna do it logically. By the way, you're not mixing the 2 products together in the hopper. Don't do that because they'll flow differently. It's not gonna get an even application. This has to be 2 separate applications, okay? So the way I'm gonna figure out the spreader setting, and then I'll give it to you. If you have an Earthway spreader, it'll work, should work, is I'm gonna pull a few grains out like this. By the way, you can do this with any product you have, and I trust you. See, this is where you're gonna use a little bit of your intuition and your smarts, and I want you to know that I trust you. I trust you to make a good decision, okay? So you have my permission. So I got some of the grains in there, and all I'm gonna do is just set them down in there, right next to the little holes. Now you're not gonna probably be able to see that because this is a black spreader with brown prills. And I'm gonna come up here and I'm just gonna, now 2 pounds per thousand, right? So I gotta think, I'm gonna have to crank this down pretty far. Let's go down around like, let's just go down around like, I don't know, 11 on this bad dog. Let's just see. And let's open that up. What do we get? Oh, look at that, okay. So can you see, I'll try to zoom in on the camera. But I'm just looking at the size of the grains there, and I'm looking at that opening, and how does that look like it's gonna flow? It doesn't look like it's gonna flow too fast to me, probably not fast enough. So I'm gonna go ahead, and again, I'm just using my brain here. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank that out. Now, some of you, if you're really not sure, by the way, this won't burn anything, so I don't want you to worry about that. You just wanna be responsible. So if you wanted to, you could weigh all this out. But again, I've done this before, so I feel confident, and I feel confident in you too. So right there, that looks pretty good. When I look at the size of those grains and I can picture those flowing through there, I'm picturing that in my mind. I'm like, yeah, that looks pretty good. It doesn't look like it's gonna be too crazy at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Now, the one thing you don't wanna do is just dump the whole bag in and go crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dump half the bag in, and I'm gonna do a 2,500 square foot area, and I'm just gonna see how I came out and hope for the best. See, because dumping only half the bag in means I'm not risking the whole thing, I'm only risking half of it. And by the way, even as I'm going, I'll be able to tell when I get started how things look, how things seem to be flowing, how the product is moving down in the hopper as I'm walking and I'm looking at my space. All of this is just about, this is part of learning your land, understanding, it's all part of that. And while this seems complicated if you're new, once you take care of your own land and you do spread something, and you spread fertilizer, fungicide, whatever you do, once you do it 2 or 3 times, you are a literal expert. And that's because you only have to learn one small piece of land. In my case, I'm doing 5,000 square feet over here. That's all I have to know. You know, think about lawn professionals. They're doing dozens of lawns. Some of them manage 600 or 700 lawns in their route that they'll do over a number of weeks. That's a lot to deal with, right? That's a lot of land to learn. You have one little piece of land to learn. It's very easy to do that. Trust me. Just like I trust you. Okay, so I did one pass. Now, I didn't do a trim pass with this stuff. I'll blow it all over. And I already know that my spreader throws about over to right here, right? So I've done that much of the lawn. And I already know, because I know my land, it usually takes me about 4 passes to do this whole thing. So I just did one pass. I got 3 more to go. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna logically look. And again, I was watching this go down as I went. You can't really see it. That's the thing about brown prills against a dark green lawn. You can't see the product. But what you can see is you can see it flowing down as you go. And then I can reach back in here and go, oh yeah, I'm still pretty good. Still got quite a bit in there. So that was one pass. I got 3 left to go. This feels right. This feels logical. I think I'm good. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so now I've done past that way, one back this way, did my bump out over here. Now I got one more to go this way, and then I have one more coming down this way. What do I look like? Boy, that's gonna be close. That's gonna be close, but I think we're gonna be okay. Walking speed, 3.5 miles per hour, putting some ass into it. Oh, look at that. Just a little bit left, but gotta do the old parkway over there. I used to ignore this for years, but because I got the new Viridian sod in there, it's gonna get taken care of for sure now. Hey, that's pretty good, huh? The old man still has a pretty good job at eyeballing. So 2 pound per thousand rate, we can call it. Now again, every one of these spreaders is a little different, but what are we at here? 12? I don't know, I don't have my Glacerios on, but I'm saying 12. So Earthway 2600 A+, and the Yard Mastery spreader for Scott's Disease X, 2 pounds per thousand rate, setting 12. Now we can go ahead and do the rest. Okay, y'all, there you go. I hope that wasn't too confusing to you on the spreader settings there. Your mileage may vary, but I don't want you to be worried about this. Like I said, I already know what the reality is of these things. So it does say on the Scotts to water it in for 15 to 20 minutes. So that's telling me we don't need a precision watering in here. What they really want is just some water on it to activate it. They really don't want it watered way deep into the soil, and way deep again being an Alan Hayne technical term.